so much. She put the objectives in the chat and also a link to our agenda for this meeting, which is going to link to the slides that CUNY gave us and that SUNY gave us. If you're here in person, it's still in the same slide deck that you were just looking at, so no need for an additional link. I also want to remind you, this helps us with our attendance. If you're on Zoom, put your name and your school or organization as your name, right? So we can know, Annie Jung was here, and she's from this school. So that's going to be really helpful for us. All right, let me see. I think that's all I have. Just if you are on Zoom, please put your question in the chat, and Chanel's going to be helping me out with that too. We'll have designated times for questions, but we may pull out your question during the thing because it feels like super timely. All right, well, thanks for attending our first CAAN again. Let me see. Our next slide, I think, is just SUNY updates. So I'm going to ask our speaker from SUNY, Will DeFries, to come get us started with that. All right. Yeah, you're going to have to hold it in your hand. And also, you can just advance with this. Thank you.
Where's the slides?
Just go ahead and click. Nope. This
Should be the clickers right there.
Yeah, it did it. It's just slow to go.
Okay. Thank you for having me today. I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize. My name is Will DeFries. I'm the Director of Downstate Recruitment for the SUNY system. I see a lot of familiar faces in here today. And are any of you signed up to go to the Open Forum in a couple weeks at SUNY Maritime? One? Okay. So you're going to be ahead of the game. These slides are going to be presented there. So I wanted to make sure you're getting high-level updates. I loved what I heard before about the 96% FAFSA completion already this year, so I definitely want to connect regarding that. And also the schools who had above 90% FAFSA completion, that's phenomenal because I know between myself and Estrella Redondo, who you're going to hear later on in about 30 minutes, we do a lot of work with helping high schools with FAFSA completion. Me personally, not only do I serve in this role, I was the director of the FAFSA completion corps for SUNY, and I cover all throughout the state. I had 14 campuses, so I'm working with schools and districts that only have 40% FAFSA completion in upstate New York. So New York City did a great job. And I want to thank you as counselors for all the work that you do. We wouldn't have had the successful year we had at CUNY and at SUNY if it wasn't for the work you did, the communication we had between our offices, and I want to make sure we continue that. If you want a representative of mine to come in, help with FAFSA completion, application completion, whether you're applying SUNY or not, I want to make sure that your students are getting to college, okay? My first priority is obviously SUNY, but college is more important than that. College is way more important than just saying SUNY. So let's make sure we're working together and continuing this partnership. I'm going to be skipping over some slides, too. Some of this has been discussed previously, and then other things I'm going to be going over a little bit more high-level news, so I want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. So with enrollment this year, enrollment in the SUNY system, the last 2 years has I don't know why this isn't, is this something I'm doing?
We'll get you.
We'll get you.
Thank you. So enrollment these last 2 years has been drastically increasing in the SUNY system. I think we have a lot to thank for the work we've been doing from Dr. or Chancellor King. He's joined the SUNY system about 3 years ago, and since then, we launched the Free Application Week. Perfect, thank you. Free Application Week. So in the last 2 years, over this last year, we increased enrollment about 2.7% overall. It's been 0.9% for undergraduate first-year students. With Apply SUNY, that is 500,000 applications within from 2025 that we received this last year, and you will see the difference between what it was in 2020 post-pandemic or during COVID and what we are on track right now. So those goals we expect to keep climbing in this upcoming year. Numbers are drastically ahead of where they've gone, where they've been. We've seen the most increase within the technology colleges, and also the university centers and the university colleges have had a steady increase. With the community colleges, we tend to see the application increase later on as students typically wait to apply to community colleges. But for me, I think it's great that students are starting to apply more to the technology colleges, because that's something that we in the college side of the house, but also high school side of the house, it's really been go get your 4-year bachelor's degree in business, liberal arts, et cetera, when we know that there's a lot of jobs within these technology fields. In the next, I think it's 5 years, I have a friend who owns a construction company, 400,000 construction workers are going to be retired, and currently there's only 200,000 in or applied to the construction union. So those prices of all you looking to fix your houses up and all, that's just going to go up. But the people going into those businesses and trades are declining. So we need more individuals like that. And those are high-paying jobs. As you know, have any of you had a plumber walk in your house? You're probably still paying for that, right? That's what we need to be looking for. We need to encourage students that these aren't just jobs that anyone can do. These are jobs that we really appreciate and we need. They're just as important as the work we do. They're everyday jobs that AI are not going to take. So that's why I'm a big fan of the technology colleges, and I think high schools should look more at the 7 technology colleges within the SUNY system and also within the CUNY network. Okay, that's not coming up on your screen. Good. So the different programming we had. How many of you got the opportunity to attend the Javits Center College Fair last week? It's one of the reasons I don't feel so great. I'll tell you, it was an amazing event. We had approximately 7,500 students within 2 days. Last year, we had around 6,800 students attend that over the 2 days. So we have seen the climb in the college fair since the pandemic, and even prior to the pandemic. Those are numbers that we were hitting before. So we're seeing that people are wanting to go back in person, have events like this. So we should try to get more away from that virtual and come back face-to-face and help our students as much as possible. We do have an upcoming fair in Syracuse, but for the spring, okay, I'm skipping ahead. These are our fall events. If your students missed anything, maybe you don't have one of my representatives coming to visit your high school, we do offer a lot of virtual events. You can go right on the SUNY.edu student events. We have how to apply. We have a general information session. We have FAFSA overview, FAFSA completion. If a student can't make one of those events, just reach out to us. We'll make sure they schedule a one-on-one with that student, or we can do a group thing for your high school. Now for the spring, we are going to have plenty of locations for college fairs in the spring. We're working with Brooklyn School District. This will be the 3rd year in a row we have a SUNY Brooklyn Fair. And we also are going to be the 2nd year of the SUNY Queens Fair. I work directly with the superintendent's offices. We go directly to their communities. We have a high school. We go in there. For the Bronx this year, I just decided last week we are not going to do the Bronx. This has been very difficult for me. It's probably going to be 2027, but I'm going to work closely with New York State ACAC, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. They're having their college fair at SUNY Maritime. I'm meeting with the directors of Marymount Manhattan and Lemoyne on Friday, and I'm going to just give them all my resources and make sure SUNY shows up, and I'm going to work with all the school districts in the Bronx to make sure we can get their students there. So make sure you're on the lookout for these college fairs, mostly targeted juniors, some rising seniors as well, undecided students. Did anyone attend the counselor trips last year? This is brand new. You did? Okay. So this is a brand new thing we started I'm skipping ahead, 2 years ago. These counselor trips, which one did you go to?
I don't
You were one of 25. That's great. So we had a really good show rate, given that the time they were projected out and the individuals that registered, we had a lot of people not come, cancel last minute. But overall, for the New Paltz one, it was really good show rate. The other ones weren't as good. We want to know from you how we can make you commit. So for those individuals who did, we had students, counselors, 3, 4 from one school, just last minute, I can't make it, family emergency. Then the other one says, we all are unable to attend, our school said we can't go. We had a bunch of excuses. Whether they were all true or not, I don't know. But I want to make sure that if counselors sign up, just like students, are they going to attend or not? Because we spent a lot of money on this. And we want to make sure you're getting the resources and your students are getting the resources. So if you could give us feedback on, okay, how would I show up if I really want to make the excuse last minute not to have a 2 days, was it a 2-day trip, off of work to go up to these trips? How was it, though, overall?
loved it. I'm obsessed with Plattsburgh.
Yeah, it's far. It's far.
I love the cold.
Educational Opportunity Program, EOP. Here are your, I don't know why that color is like that. Okay, well, you're all familiar with EOP?
Yes.
I'll give you a big update then. This year, instead of the financial form, this only applies to financial form, we are going centralized. You will only have to apply. It'll be on the SUNY application. If it's on the Common App, you have to click separately, go to the SUNY app. Through EOP, you apply centralized one form for that financial application, comes to SUNY, admin, will be released to the campus saying, this student is financially eligible to all of your schools, and then the schools still have to make that academic decision individually for each campus. Does that make sense? Yes. Great. I love this idea. Why hasn't this been around 10 years? I don't know, but we're getting to it. So, oh, and here's how you do it when you're applying EOP. Yes, question.
So if a student is not eligible for one campus, are they referred to general admission?
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Can you repeat the question, just in case folks online didn't hear it?
You want to repeat it? Okay. Will they be referred to general admission if they do not meet the admissions criteria for EOP? And the answer to that is yes, they will be.
There's also a question around where did you say the link is located if you apply on the Common App?
It'll be in the Common application. It should say, are you applying EOP? When you apply there should be a link that is going to be available that'll say EOP application. It'll redirect. Through the SUNY app, it's much easier because it's linked to our application. Through the Common application, if you've done it before, it's you have to make sure the student checks they're applying EOP, and it'll send it over to them. If anything, you always can do. Can you write in the chat?
Yep.
Ask SUNY at SUNY.edu is the best place to go for any questions. They will get you in touch with either me, my team, EOP, Student Life, whoever needs to be reached out to. We'll make sure you have that.
Ask SUNY at SUNY.edu.
Ask SUNY at SUNY.edu. That is correct. Thank you. So ASAP and ACE. As some of you may know, we're going into our second year now for ASAP and ACE. We're up to 34 campuses. We expanded from year 1 to 2, 9 ASAP and ACE schools, and we just plan to grow. We're hoping to hit 60. We'll see how it works, but I plan next year we'll be even higher than that. And here's just a map of where we are at throughout the entire state currently for the ASAP and ACE program. How much time do I have? Okay, good. Universal FAFSA, we went through this prior. I highly recommend for the schools who have 96% FAFSA completion, or if you have 60%, reach out to SUNY, reach out to CUNY. Yes.
Sorry, just to go back one slide, is ACE only for transfer students?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no. Community college and also four-year college.
Okay.
Not only for transfer students, no. So, and sorry I'm moving so fast. Any questions, please ask afterward. I want to make sure to.
Okay, go for it.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, we just have a question in the chat asking, can you explain a little more about ACE and ASAP and what they offer?
Let's go back. So, where is it? Yeah, so, okay. So, I'm not an ACE, ASAP expert, but there's a lot of, it's not an opportunity program, but it is meant to assist students who do not meet the, let's say you don't meet the EOP eligibility guidelines, but you do need a little financial support. You know you can still be a great student, but you might need tutoring. You might need that assistance. ASAP and ASAP's a great program because it helps keep students on track, apply after, when you graduate from high school. It helps keep students on track to graduate on time. It helps with books, transportation, so it does the financial fees as well. But it's not an opportunity program. I could get anyone who wants to learn more about ACE and ASAP in touch with my assistant director of recruitment, and she can talk all about it. She is an expert on ACE and ASAP, so I can get her in touch with you.
And is that something they can apply to on the SUNY app to apply to ACE and ASAP?
Yes. Yes, it is. A lot of students will be eligible for ACE and ASAP. These numbers this year were very high for the first year, which is why we expanded the program. And a lot of people do get it confused with EOP because EOP is a three-pronged program focusing on tutoring, financial support. It's not a financial program. And then the academics, the counseling side of the house. Versus ASAP and ACE, it can get confused because it sounds like that, but it isn't. So with the universal FAFSA, you talked about this earlier. This is redundant, very important though. As you can see, there's areas in the state that were 40, up near, where's this? Right here next to Oswego. There's places in the state that are like 40% FAFSA completion. And I was getting FAFSA Corps to go in there. We paid them a lot of money to go into these locations to help these school districts. And it's tough. We understand. Students have different challenges, obstacles, and barriers, no matter where they're from. And down in New York City, for as strong as FAFSA completion was, it's amazing because I feel like our students down here have the most challenges and barriers. So it just goes to the work that you've all done within your school districts. But again, reach out to CUNY. Everyone's familiar with CUNY FAFSA? Yes? Everyone? It's their version of FAFSA Completion Corps. It was implemented after our FAFSA Corps, and they've done a tremendous job. Hey, Estrella, how you doing?
Hey, Will.
In New York City. So, you can talk about this.
I didn't plan to, but.
Free community college. This is for more your alum, the graduates, individuals who graduated from your schools who you might still be in touch with. I know plenty of schools who have alumni networks, and they keep in touch with all their students. Make sure you're sending an email out, or your school is sending an email out to those students that are over 24 years old to, as long as your high school's been around for, 55, let's say, and make sure they're taking advantage of this. This is a great time because if we go into a recession, as you know, people think when recessions happen and the job market slows down, that individuals stop applying to college. It's the exact opposite. Numbers are about to hit the roof. People are going to start applying to college because they need the credentials. This is where you're like, okay, I know I work with high school students, but let me reach out to this student I know who maybe went to CUNY, went to SUNY, didn't graduate. Let me reach out. We've got to get them an associate's degree. Like I said, our responsibility is to make sure these individuals, me, big advocate for students of color like myself, to end up going to college and getting a degree. That's what we should care about. I don't care if they've graduated already. I have students who dropped out, who come to me, who I'll contact to work with them to go back to college. That's what our mission should be as a collective. How am I looking on time?
5 minutes.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm not going to talk about community college direct admit, but we do have a few direct admit SUNY match program. I'll talk about this. SUNY match program. SUNY match, and we also have SUNY EOP match. These are match if your students apply to EOP or if they apply a regular decision student. Let's say you apply to Binghamton. That student only applies to Binghamton, one school. They do not get accepted to Binghamton. They're going to get a letter saying, do you want to be considered for SUNY match? Check mark. Boom. Great. We are going to admit them to 3 four-year colleges, 4-year institutions, and 1 community college near them. Okay? Simple as that. Same with EOP. Let's say the student applies to Binghamton and Stony Brook for EOP, does not get accepted. We're going to find 3 four-year schools and 1 community college with EOP. That's it. They're in. All they got to do is say, yeah, I want to be considered. Now, if they apply to 5 schools, they have to get not accepted into all 5 for them to do the SUNY match. You get what I'm saying, though? If they will be considered to a SUNY school, we will match them. We'll do the easy work for them. Because I understand, not every student understands what Binghamton is. Every student hears Binghamton, they want to apply Binghamton. I'm not a Binghamton student. As a graduate student, I was. But I wasn't a Binghamton student as an undergrad. A lot of you probably weren't either. Some of us are community college students. That's okay. It's where we end up, not where we start, right? So we need to make that message. Lastly, the biggest news I have, this is confusing. I understand why if it is. We could talk more about it later. We are going to be implementing universal guaranteed admission this next year, 2027. Every student will be accepted into a SUNY school in 2027. That's it. How this is going to happen, we're still discussing, but it's going to happen. Chancellor King wants it to happen. It's going to happen. Okay? No questions on this. Now, no, go ahead.
Is it both for 2 and 4 years?
The question is both for 2 and 4 year. I haven't got information on that, but my guess is we're going 4 year. Focus on that 4 year. This is CUNY's ground for the 2 year at least. But like I said, I'm supportive of CUNY. Australia knows that. I send students to CUNY all the time. My wife works SEEK program. It's a great opportunity students have to stay here. But if they want to go outside of the city, we have a great public education network in New York State. So that is it.
I do have one question for.
Okay. Okay.
So Keisha is asking, how will proposed budget cuts affect programs at SUNY?
We're spending more right now. And we plan to spend more. If any of you taken advantage of our bus trips, we've been spending more on these bus trips where we're busing high schools to and our budget for that is astronomical, okay? We don't even spend close to what it is. Our EOP, we've been expanding our EOPs, how many schools we're at, and we're going to continue to do that as long as we're able to. We're not stopping. So, yeah. Until you hear, you're going to hear the same time I hear probably. It'll be that type of deal. But yeah, we're spending money as much as it's coming in.
So it's really exciting to have more opportunities for students to go to SUNY. I just want to, maybe others have this question, but I just often think about the gap in the package of students who want to dorm and any sort of on the horizon opportunities for more aid in those packages.
I feel you. I hear you. I wish I could answer that. There is no easy answer for that. I've seen the difference. Even with the full TAP, Pell, I've seen the difference. Unless you're getting the scholarships or the Simon STEM scholarship from Stony Brook, which pays for everything, there's not many of those programs within our state. But I do tell counselors to look at the overall private versus public, look at the bachelor's degree projected $1 million versus if they don't go to college, and then just return on investment. I have information on SUNY versus private versus high school. I have return on investment. So I was a student who, I went to HBCU my first year, accumulated $20,000 in debt, came back, did 3.5 years at SUNY, only accumulated about $10,000 in debt. Now taken, this was back in 2008 to 2012, but I was able to pay my college loans off in 5 years after I graduated. If I stayed at Virginia State, I would have had $80,000 after 4 years. So I was able to come back to SUNY and really do that. So it's still, it tremendously is beneficial to you. But I do hope that the scholarships are still the foundational scholarships. I always tell students to apply to those. There's foundation scholarships at each school, but in terms of the merit-based scholarships, and there's not the need-based, right? It's not there. We need to find a way to do better. Yes.
I know CUNY has a portal where counselors can go and track students' progress, like if they're missing anything, if they're being accepted. Does SUNY have the same thing?
We have the Counselor Connect portal. Does everyone has access to the Counselor Connect portal?
That's only if they apply through the SUNY.
Yeah.
application.
It's because our application, it's because CUNY is centralized versus SUNY is not centralized. So you'll have to, for that specific, you'll have to contact the school directly. But is anyone, are your schools in the top 10% initiative? Yes. For top 10% students, you can go in, you can upload everything and kind of keep track. But for everything else, since we don't have a centralized, it's something that's been talked about for 15, 20 years. That's a big, very common question. Yeah. All right, I'm going to pass.
Sorry, what is that top 10%?
It's an initiative. We were working with 60 plus school districts in the state and working with the top, their counselors are deciding the top 10% of their class, the 12th grade class, and then they submit the students' grades, and those students have to fill out, and it's not even an application. It's a short application, if anything, and we have 9 schools that participate, and they get I think it was 90% of all students in the top 10% got accepted to all those 9 schools. There's a few university centers, few university colleges. Is there a technology college? I don't believe so. It's a great program, but it's not something we're developing on it. So we reached out to the DOE. Every school in the DOE was invited into it. So if you're part of the DOE, then reach out and we can figure out why you haven't got information yet.
Last question from the chat. Why is it that top 10 students cannot be accepted into EOP?
Well, because of the top 10%, and EOP is academic and financial. And if they don't, if a student is, so this is the thing, if a student wants to apply EOP, happens to be top 10%, don't put them in that top 10% initiative. Just say, we're going to wait, you're going to apply EOP. And then they can look at other criteria. So maybe it's a strong student academically, but maybe their grade point, maybe their SATs, ACTs weren't strong. Maybe they can find some AP scores, vice versa. Work with the school, okay? Good question, too. All right, thank you. And please, my email real quick, Will DeFreece, DEFREECE @SUNY.edu. Will DeFreece, DEFREECE @SUNY.edu.
Sorry. All right. Well, thank you so much, Will. We're going to turn it over to CUNY now. Let me make sure we're on the right slides. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Estrella Redondo and Daniel Hyman from CUNY to take us through those updates.
Hello, hello. And like Will mentioned, we do work closely together. We actually did a community college SUNY CUNY presentation at a New York State ACAC conference a couple of years back that we thought was going to be a hit, but only like 7 people showed. But if anybody here is interested in that, we can totally bring it back. It was a really nice slide deck, and we talked about the importance of both CUNY community colleges and SUNY community colleges. So yeah, know Will for a long time. Hello, everybody on the screen. Hello, everybody here in person. My name is Estrella Redondo, pronouns she, her, ella, and I serve as the Director of Student Recruitment. I have been in this role now. This is starting my third academic year. Super excited to be here with you guys. Thank you to Glenda and Sandy for the invitation. And I'm accompanied here today with one of our managers. I'm going to let him introduce himself. You got to stand over here so these folks can see you as well.
Good morning, everybody. Some of you that I see here that we met before. My name is Daniel Hyman. I'm one of the admission specialists at the CUNY Welcome Center. The territory that I mostly concentrate on will be Manhattan and the Bronx.
You got some claps for that, Daniel? Everybody loves Daniel, right? Awesome. Love it. Awesome. All right. So we have a ton of slides, so I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as possible. All right. So we're planning to go through the resources that we offer you, that we continue to offer you in person and virtually. We want to quickly talk about the Counselor Corner page that we have for you guys. So CUNY website, Counselor Corner, that page is for you guys. That's where you'll see the free application dates. You'll see a lot of important details and tutorials on the Counselor portal, its enhancements, how to request access, the new FAST app that we're going to get into detail in a few minutes, TREX, how students can go into TREX and see their courses that they've taken, any college courses, how that transfers over. So we love the Counselor Corner page. We think it has everything you guys need and want, but let me know if it doesn't. Let me know if you have any recommendations on how to make any changes to it. The other thing we plan to share is just a little bit on program opportunities. So Daniel will talk a little bit more about the ASAP and SEEK and any questions that he gets out on the road on any of those special opportunity programs. We'll plan to cover that as well. And then based on time, we'll open up for Q&A at the end. It's also, I just want to say, it's also really nice to see a lot of you guys, because I saw a lot of you guys last Friday at the New York City Tech Counselor Conference. So thank you so much for supporting us there. And now it's Monday and I'm seeing you guys again. So this stuff is fresh. You guys can now give these CUNY update presentations. So now we have also on the Counselor Corner page, we've had this for, I want to say this is our 4th year. We have handbooks specifically for our NYCPS partners. It's the booklet is growing because of the enhancements to the portal, because of the FAST app. So it's maybe getting close to 20 pages. But basically, this started from all the questions that our team received. We put it into a super helpful handbook. We're in the process of making some more updates and making sure that it has everything regarding FAST app and the new changes to the portal. So right now, you won't see the most updated handbook, but that should be posted in the next couple of weeks. And then for those of us that are non-NYCPS, which everybody in the room is NYCPS, so that's not for anyone here, but for any of your friends or colleagues, we have a different handbook that's for New York State non-NYCPS counselors. That's a little different because for our NYCPS partners, we have the OSIS number, right, that pulls the transcript, so that's different for our rest of our New York State counselors. Wanted to spend some time just resharing with you that you guys all have a CUNY representative. So if you don't have Daniel, there's a bunch of other amazing CUNY representatives that you guys have. Right now, we are at almost 2 reps per borough. Bronx and Manhattan, we've combined it for 3 representatives, and we're in the process of hiring another team member so that we could have 2 per borough so that we can give you guys faster email responses. We know that at times it can be stressful, and in our peak times, it could take us up to 2 weeks to respond because of the number of emails. And each email sometimes has a list of 50 students that we're looking into. So one email can take us about 45 minutes to respond because of the types of emails that we're getting. But we are hiring another team member, and my hope and dream is that next year we can hire one more, and then we'll be at a really good place. But I also share that with you guys because you're also going to find that some of the representatives are going to ask to see if they can offer any virtual presentations. They're also going to ask if there are any college fairs that are long, like from 9 to 3. There are going to be times where they're going to ask, when are the upperclassmen going to be available at the fair? Because I need to make sure that they're getting back to their desk and answering all your emails. We don't want to have what we've had the last couple of years, and I want to make sure that we shorten the response rate. So if you see that, if you hear that from our team and you're wondering, that's new, that's coming from me, because I want to make sure that your emails are getting responded to a lot quicker. Okay, and then once our team grows by 1 to 2 more, then we can go back to having everyone go to more events. Yes, question.
Do you know who our representative is?
So the second to last slide has everybody's headshots, and then you can see who's doing what territory. I have, like I said, Bronx and Manhattan is 3. I combined them, but every other borough has 2 representatives, so you'll be able to see that soon. Okay? All right. Next, our representatives, your representatives, are also here to handle any technical issues. I know that CUNY First can give folks some troubles at times when you're working with your students. We get a lot of questions about that. Please reach out to your CUNY representative. And at the end, we'll try to save some time for you to ask us any questions, and Daniel can share any helpful tips and tricks. He works with a lot of counselors and a lot of students to try to get them through the difficulties of that. College fairs, application workshops. We also host our own application workshops as well that are virtual. It skipped one of my slides. Okay, so I think I may have made updates after I sent this to you, but that's fine. That's my bad. The free application period for NYCPS, CUNY. Free application period is going to be from October 27th through November 21st. Okay, so it's a whole month. For any of your friends and colleagues that work outside of NYCPS or for the rest of New York State, that's going to be from November 10th through November 21st. Okay, so CUNY's fee waivers is for New York State. Now, we strongly encourage and strongly encourage to have your students apply during that window, but we know that it's not possible to get every single one of your students to apply. So after that, you can apply, or rather request, a fee waiver through the counselor portal. So just the way you guys have been doing it last year. I do want to say that try to get as many students, again, through the free application period, and shortly after that, if you're not able to get them in during those 4 weeks. The number of fee waivers that we have, it's a budget that we have, and every week we deduct the number and we get an email and stuff like that to see where we are. This year we were good, we were fine, we were able to meet everything, but I just sometimes have this fear that one year it'll be less than what we had the year before, right? So please try to encourage your students, if they can't do it during the free application period, at least shortly after that, you guys can go into the portal after they've applied to request a fee waiver. For NYCPS, there's a form, a simple form that our system just needs to see that form uploaded so that the fee waiver can go through. My hope is that we can get rid of that form, because I know it's an extra step that you guys don't need and probably don't want. But for right now, that's what our system needs to have it go through. A member of our team just recently pointed out to us that form says last year's date. It's still going to work, so still use that. I'm going to get it updated soon. And then for non-NYCPS, they need to prove hardship. They need to prove financial hardship in order for the fee waiver request to be approved. This one that's for later. So counselor portal. These are some things that you guys should have seen and should have experienced even when the portal first launched and for this last year. But I just want to spend really quickly some time just reviewing with you guys what you guys can do with the portal and what you guys should be doing so that it makes it easier for you. Before the portal, we had these application status reports that we would email out to you once a month. And it would take us like 2 days to pull all the data and separate it by school and get it out to you. And now we have the portal, which is live information. And we just want you guys to be familiar, or just if you're not as comfortable, if you're newer to the field, just the different ways that you can look up your students. So you can do it by high school. You can do it by application term. You could do it by whether they're incomplete. Are they complete? Are they applying by Macaulay? You can look up the student through the OSIS number, through first name, last name. So we try to make it different ways for you to be able to look for your students in a group or be able to look for your students individually. Individual applicant review. And Daniel's going to go a little bit more in detail on how we would like you guys to utilize the portal so that you're getting the most information that you need. And that way we're also hoping it'll cut back a little bit on the emails that we receive. So for your students, if you're looking specifically at an applicant,
I'm sorry to interrupt. We can't see the slides on the Zoom, so you could keep talking.
okay, I'm going to keep talking. All right, so individual applicant review. When you're logging into the portal and you're looking up your student, whether it's first and last name, whether it's OSIS number.
Stand here, that was all.
Oh, okay. The computer's scared of Sandy. Thank you. All right. Sorry for all of you on the screen. Now you guys can see the slides. So individual applicant review will give you a little bit more detail. So you may log in and first see that an application is incomplete. And you're like, what do you mean it's incomplete? I sent the transcript. It has everything. What's happening? They put the OSIS number. Dig a few more steps in and look at the student overall and check to see their transcript status. Check to see what it says. If it says received, not evaluated, you've done what you've needed to do. Your students entered the OSIS number. We just need more time to get to the application, okay? And I know seeing that first incomplete, I know can cause stress to think, okay, what didn't I do? But a lot of the times we just need more time to have an evaluator go in there and review the application. So specifically transcript status. And your students can also see this when they log into their CUNY First account as well, which I'm sure for your students, they come into your office panicked saying, my application's incomplete, miss, you didn't do this, right? Yep, I'm getting head nods. So just let them know if you can, they can focus on the transcript status. And then we have a bunch of resources, like I said, on the Counselor Corner page. If you need to request access, if you need to remove access, if you've moved schools, if you need to update your email, you email your representative. We'll take care of that as well. The request process for NYCPS, I work really closely with NYCPS leadership where they verify who we can give access to. We have to have that security step because the portal has all sensitive information in there about all of our applicants. And so it does take a little bit longer to get access. So we're hoping that one day we can have an automated system, but for right now it can take 2 to 3 weeks to get access to the portal. So we thank you for your patience. And I'm gonna pass it over to Daniel.
Thank you, Estrella. So everybody have access, pretty much that I'm talking to here on screen, that have access to the portal, right? Excellent. So this is a quick view of when you sign in initially that you will see. I did my example here for one of the high schools. Welcome XYZ, Daniel Hyman. Then you have the drop down for the filters for you to be able to search for your student. I keep it very generic when I'm doing it by high school. So I would put the fall or fall 26, freshman. Well, you could break it down also to Macaulay, as Estrella mentioned. And if you have some transfer student, as we mentioned, for the NISAP and so on, then there's different ways to help our applicants. But what I want to highlight, you still have the option for the spreadsheet. You could download it yourself, if that's your preference. If you want to work individually with a student, this is where we want to enhance that you could do it individually. So if you see at the bottom right-hand side where it says 65 rows, right? That means for this particular high school, there were 65 applicants to CUNY. And then what you will do is that when you scroll down, then you will get a full list of the names of the applicants. You will get individually if they're apply for the semester, if the OC number for public schools, the CEB code, and it will say complete or incomplete. The key here, ladies and gentlemen, that we want you to enhance, if you want to work individual with a student, click the role of that student. It will take you to the next page if you haven't experienced this yet. So when you click the role, it will give you the information of the applicant. Name, CUNY First ID, application username if they did the regular application. So it gives you a breakdown. If they selected SEEK or college discovery, if they say yes, it will tell you that as well, okay? Because it's pulling the information from the application itself. The next thing that we want to highlight, for example, this is a complete applicant with the different choices when you scroll down on that page. College major, it will indicate the college, the major that the student applying to, right? And then it will indicate if the applicant was denied, accepted, or there's no decision. The no decision part will be application. That means that the college is still reviewing that particular individual application. If they made a decision, naturally will indicate admit. And according to the dates as well of completion, right? So every time something changes, it will change the date, okay? But the key emphasis will be application status, complete. That means the evaluation was complete. This is a different example. Now we have a student with college major applying to City College, but the application is not complete. Why is not complete? We want you to scroll down on the page. It will have the to-do list. Application fee, high school required. One step further down, school and transcript. At this moment, you will see that the transcript is desired. That means for someone that just applied, let's say yesterday, you go in today, and it will indicate that you desire request. Quick question, Ms. Freya mentioned there's 4 steps by memory, if I recall. They just apply, desire status for the transcript. Once we receive the transcript, it will be received, not evaluated, with the receive date. Any of those applicants, we don't want another transcript because we receive another transcript 2-3 days later, it changed the receive date. That means that that particular applicant will go back to the line because we're going to go by the date received. So we want to keep it consistent with the receive date. The next step will be, if it's done, the evaluation will be receive evaluated. That means that it's complete. It will change the top part of the application to complete. Now they're just waiting for the review by the individual college. So there's 4 steps once we receive the application on the progression of the application. This is another example that we have 2 different high schools. Okay, we have Mount St. Ursula, and they also attended United Charter. For New York City public schools, if they attended multiple public schools, they need to indicate that on the application, even though we get it on the transcript. But we want this applicant to let us know where they attended, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we could track it better that way. Not that they are graduating from one school and then we don't know where it. That's where you will see that it will indicate the generic org, United States, UK org, and everybody saying that they went to that high school. We didn't know where they went either. So we had to create a generic org for them to be able for us to track it better. But once we receive the transcript, it will change to that college name, well, high school name.
But you know where and that's.
And we have it here, receive evaluated, the date, excellent, this is a complete application. Now, on the supportive document, this is the enhancement part that started June 2nd of this year. You could upload transcripts. So if you have the previous high school transcript file, you could upload it to the application via the portal. That way the applicant don't have to contact that high school and request it. And also, if they locate outside the United States, original language with translation, you could upload that as well. Okay, so these are the enhancements to keep it. Yes.
Saying 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes already? That flies. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me hurry up then. But this part is for Estrella now.
All right, thank you. We're gonna go really fast from here on out. So
It's a fast stop, we're going fast.
fasten your seatbelts. All right, so the FastApp application is brand new for NYCPS, and it's exactly that. We're making it a faster application. So it should be cutting down the time by half. If it took your students 20 minutes to do the regular application or 30 minutes to do the regular application, it should now take them 15 minutes to do the application. The reason why we can do this is because we have such a great partnership with you guys, with NYCPS. We have the data in the back end, so we can populate all of the information in the application. The very important thing that we need your students to do, and I know sometimes this can be difficult when you're not watching them, is that they put in their correct OSIS number. They have to put in their correct OSIS number. That's the very first question. They can't continue from there. So hopefully that'll force them to make sure they're putting in the correct OSIS number and then continue from there. The only way you shouldn't be using the FastApp is if they're applying for Macaulay Honors. For Macaulay Honors, they need to use the general application. I love when I see the head nods because we know we're answering questions. So please, for any Macaulay, make sure that they are using the general application. Yes?
We're in early college. High school, is all of my students supposed to use this as a first-time freshman or some alternative?
They're taking College Now courses. Yes, they can use the FastApp application. Okay? Yes, there's another thing I want to point that at the end. Yes.
Even if they have a CUNY First account, they need.
Yeah, even if they have a CUNY First account, they could use the FastApp application. The one thing well, I'll mention it right now. The thing that I'm thinking about for those students that have taken CUNY courses is that once they finish this application, the CUNY Fast, then they're gonna create their CUNY First. But for students that are taking courses, they already have a CUNY First account. So they're using that same username and password to get into the CUNY First. I know that can be sometimes hard for the students because they're saying something that says create it, right? But they already have one. So just make sure that you're advising your students, they're already in our system, use the same username and password. Got that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did the application with some of my kids, and there's no spot for letters of recommendation, no spot for.
Yep, I'm gonna get that to them right now. Thank you so much for my intro. All right, awesome. So after you do the CUNY Fast app, at the end, the next thing it's gonna ask you to do is to create the CUNY First account, right? So I was just saying, if you have students that have taken CUNY courses, they're not gonna create one, they already have one. The reason that we're asking them to do that is because in CUNY First self-service, then they're going to upload their essay, request the letters of recommendation. That's the next step for this process, for the Fast app. So your question, again, remind me of the question?
There was no spot for letters of recommendation, but also no spot for any activities or anything.
Yep, so you're gonna upload that through CUNY First self-service.
How's that gonna get uploaded? Is it like a form that just gonna fill all that out and then upload the document? Like, it's not I'm just confused, like, what, are they just gonna type everything down and then just submit it? Or, like, for the activities and stuff?
They upload a resume.
Well, it's just like, somebody said, like uploading resume, right? That's correct. So when you go to self-service after applying, right, there's different upload capabilities that the applicant could submit, right? So it may be a little bit more difficult on the high school, right? But if they bring in, let's say, a USB, take it from the USB and upload it to the self-service. Even if they make a mistake with the name, they could also give us proof of date of birth via the self-service. That's the enhancement part right now. Instead of they making the mistake and then they cannot understand what happened, they have access to name change, address change, CUNY self-service.
Yeah,
And-
but I'm sorry, but I'm asking like, so like if they don't have like a, so like list all of their activities and then like just in a Google Doc or something, then upload it? That's what we're doing there?
No, they could still, okay, if you recall the old application, they still have that access in self-service. But to make it simpler, then will be a resume or an activity sheet, and they could upload it, still work that way. But they will still have access to the same format on the application from the previous application via self-service. Just that now, if they want to make it a lot simpler, resume, activity sheet, one sheet will upload it and they will be reviewed. Same thing with the recommenders. They could still go back into self-service, add the recommender's name and email address, and then the recommender will receive the link to upload the recommendation.
Thank you. I think we're now at -2 minutes. Anna?
I got into it. Yeah.
After they
A student who only puts one college on their application, they go back in and add other ones, or do we?
That's still, yeah, that's still a no. They will have to reach out to you, or they could reach out to us, and then we will add those colleges.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing that point. And I know you guys try your hardest, but please try to get your students to put down 6 choices, at least one community college down. But I know your jobs are very hard. They're telling you one thing, or they're going home and they're doing something different. Because once you reach out to us, then we have to wait to get to your email to make that change. And also note, we only can make changes once to the application, just once. I don't know who had their hand up first. I think it was you.
From the chat.
Yes.
To confirm, if a student participated in College Now, they have to fill out the old CUNY app?
No. If they participated in College Now, they can use the FAST app. What I was trying to clarify was they don't need to create a new CUNY first because they're already in our system. And I know that can be confusing to students because they get that request and then they create a new one, but they're already in the system. Yes.
So with the FAST app, do students need to have their social security number available, or is it just through their OSIS? If I'm going in tomorrow.
It is still a question on the FAST app, and they still have the option to say they don't know the social or they don't have one, but they will indicate in the FAST app. The only thing that populate will be like the name record, right? Address, but they also have the option to change the address if they just moved and it wasn't reflected with the public school. But that same question still appears in the FAST app.
In the FAST app, so they do need their social. Okay.
All right, guys, we have maybe like 17 slides that we're not going to get to, so I'm going to skip over FAST app. We do have a FAST app tutorial page on our CUNY website, so just go to the CUNY website, type in FAST app. We are going to add the section for self-service for CUNY First. We don't have that up there yet, but there's a whole page dedicated to the FAST app. So there's also that video I just skipped over. There's a video that goes through the FAST app application. If you haven't had an opportunity to look through that, please do. And then I feel like we're gonna just fast forward through FAST app because there's some other great stuff that I wanna share with you guys. But I see a hand up. Yes.
Okay, so we have 2 questions from the chat. I want to prioritize those because they're online. So if a student has received their GED and not their diploma, do they still use their OSIS for the waiver, or do we use a different waiver for the free application period? This is why I want to.
Well, they could still do the FAST app even they have a GED, right? Because if they have a HOSIS, right? So they could still use that particular FAST app with the OSIS because we also want to see the regions and so on. So it will be great if they do the FAST app and then provide us a copy, upload a copy of the GED.
Okay, so they can still use the OSIS for the fee waiver?
If they do it during the free period, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that was the question. And the other question is, what is the easiest way to get students' CUNY number to create their CUNY First account if they don't have a social security number?
They have to wait for the email. So we will communicate to the applicant with the 4-digit required number for them to activate the account.
Okay, and New York City charter schools that are public use FAST app as well? Are they allowed to use the FAST app? That's the question, I'm just asking.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm trying to pick and choose what other slides to share. Yes.
Chanel's going to run a poll for us. For the folks that are online, that's going to be your evaluation. And we're going to, just in case people leave, and we're going to let Estrella finish out her slides. It's going to come out on the screen. That's why I'm approaching.
I broke it. What did I do?
Help. Okay. Okay. You can. Thank you.
Thank you. So because you are all NYCPS, I also, Daniel and I and another member of our team, the first Friday of every month, or rather, let me rephrase that. One Friday every month, I go to your Friday office hours from 10 to 11, where you guys are able to ask any questions. So just be mindful of that. The next one that we will be at is on Friday, October 10th. We also host the 5 in-person counselor conferences. We just finished 2. We'll have 3 more. We do one at each borough every fall semester. And in the spring, we do virtual information sessions based on what you guys want to hear. So last spring, we did a clip session. We've done before that, we've done an undocumented session. One of our sessions at this year's in-person counselor conferences is supporting how do we support our undocumented students. And we're also highlighting a new initiative that's CUNY Beyond. So there's a lot of great topics at the conferences, and then we also do the virtual work as well. FAFSA workshops, CUNY Fast, Will mentioned CUNY Fast. We have that used to be CUNY Central focused, and now it's been outreach to the campuses, so you can reach out to the campuses to get any more information, or if you need any assistance on like financial aid night or any of those resources, feel free to reach out to your local campus. I'm gonna skip this over, and then I'm gonna make you come to a full in-person CUNY Counselor Conference to hear more about this slide. So we mentioned all of this at the conferences. Yep, thank you, Daniel. The next one is at the Borough of Manhattan Community College on Friday, October 24th. The one after that is on Halloween at Queensborough Community College. And then the last one will be Friday, November 7th at Lehman. This is just a quick snapshot at our enrollment. We are up except for transfer students, but we're not worried. It's 0.6 decrease, and we're going to see where we are as the numbers are confirmed. But we are above across the board for graduate, new students, community colleges, senior colleges, and so forth. We went over this already. We know the dates. Our freshman admissions profile has been updated. It's on our website. So every year we updated. The numbers really don't change too much, just a few points usually up. And so you'll be able to see that on our website. And then I'm going to have Daniel talk just a little bit. He's not going to go through all of this because we'll be here for another hour, but he's going to highlight just some of the services and just share a little bit on what we offer.
Well, as the first thing that you see for someone who supported ACE and ASAP, right? So we also have at each campus the single stop. So each campus have the single stop that will be admissions, financial aid, bursars, and but all of the offices for administrative will show up, right? So depending on the program, there's also on textbook saving. A lot of you had asked previously about the CLIP, the English Immersion Program, right? For those applicants that don't feel comfortable in a way with the English, even they graduate from high school, we recommend also to attend CLIP for intensive English. Another program that I want to highlight will be the CUNY Start. Okay, so CUNY Start is similar to CLIP, but it's more on for more citizenship that don't have good writing skills yet. CUNY Start is they could do CUNY Start and also Math Start. And that's for the summer for $75, 20 hours a week, and it's very intensive to prepare them for them to start college.
And it doesn't eat at their financial aid.
Correct. So, and you could see basically, then we have writing centers as well for tutoring once they enroll in campuses. So there's different support services that they have to take advantage. Another one that I highly like is the Accessibility Service Office. For this particular program, we cannot reach out to the student. It's worked the same way. The student has to reach out to the office at campus for them to have the accessibility documentation submitted. and that way they will get extra tutoring, note-taking, extra time for exams if they need that. So you want to emphasize that as well, and we have the mental health counseling and pantries, for example. And earlier,
Yeah, there was a question earlier about how do I know who my representative is? This is our amazing team who works very, very hard to work with each of you and each of your students. So again, we try to do 2 per borough. Again, Manhattan and the Bronx is combined. We have a system in place where we will ask you to email counselor@cuny.edu, and it'll go directly to your representative that is your representative. So I know that you have their direct emails up on there. I beg you guys to please use counselor@cuny.edu just in case someone calls out or someone has a family emergency and it's out for a couple of weeks. I can still go in there, we can go in there and manage and move emails to someone else to get faster responses. So I know you have their email addresses, but I ask you to please email the team at counselor@cuny.edu. It also helps us see what the volume is for each of our folks so that we can step in and assist, okay? Counselor@cuny.edu. Okay? And thank you. Thank you for letting us go over. 9 minutes over. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I will see you guys later today.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying a few extra minutes online. And we hope to see you on the 16th when we have our next CAAN meeting. Thank you so much. Now I got to figure out how to go. Oh, my goodness. Where is it? That. This.